In business news tonight, Senior Minister Dr. Sarath Amnugamma, who is the Deputy Minister of Finance, says that Sri Lanka has failed to attract a sufficient amount of foreign investments flowing into Asia. He says that there is a need for speedy policy measures to address this situation.
The Deputy Minister of Finance, who had been attending meetings overseas with several donor organizations, returned to Sri Lanka last night.
It is very clear that in the next couple of years, Asia will be the engine of global growth. This means that a lot of money for investment is coming into Asia. So we should now try very hard to draw in foreign investment, because the opportunity is there for us. So we should get our act in order. And I think this is the time Sri Lanka must really move in this matter, because otherwise Myanmar, Cambodia, there's Vietnam, Laos, there's a lot of interest in those countries. So it's high time that we also got our act together.
Moving on to more local news, Azerbaijan's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Elmar Mamadyarov, who is on an official 3-day visit to Sri Lanka, met with Minister of External Affairs, Professor G.L. Piris, in Colombo today.
A protocol on cooperation between the Ministry of External Affairs of Sri Lanka and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Azerbaijan was signed at the meeting held today at the Ministry of External Affairs in Colombo.
His Excellency President Mahinda Rajapaksa is now engaged in a review of Sri Lanka's diplomatic relations and the emphasis and the priorities underpinning our foreign policy. So we are now paying greater attention than we did in the past to large areas of the globe, including Central Asia. As you know, we are not confining participation in the Commonwealth Business Forum to countries of the Commonwealth. We are opening it to a wider group of countries. Azerbaijan is a country with which we want to deepen and strengthen, in particular, our economic relations.
Thank you very much for the support for the election of Azerbaijan as a non-permanent member of UN Security Council. So I believe that our mutually beneficial cooperation, the different United Nations body, will be benefiting both of our countries, including our cooperation at the non-aligned movement is starting also be very important for both of our states.
Now, several programs were initiated in the recent past for rural development. However, our provincial correspondent in Puttlam, Rowan Pereira, filed this report on a village in Anamadua which has managed to slip through the net of these programs.
This is a verse that has been etched onto a wall of the now closed Taxila Junior School in the Etchait colony in Marumgoda, Anamadua. This colony was established in the 1980s under the Inginimitya scheme. The school in the Etchait colony, which has been closed for close to a decade, is only used at present as a Sunday school. I was the 4th student to enter this school. We had classes up to year 5 at this school. Each classroom had between 35 to 40 children. The children are facing severe shortcomings here. It would be a great support for us if a philanthropist were able to come forward and assist us. This building is another unused resource in the village. Constructed over 20 years ago to house the cooperative society, but still unopened, this building is now falling into a state of ruin. They constructed this to house a cooperative, but this never happened. Instead, external persons were allowed to remain here, and now it is in a dilapidated state. The roofing sheets have also come off. This cooperative building is now being used for illegal construction. We have no right to speak of this. The villagers are also facing severe transportation difficulties as the bridge across the Podikattua waterway, which leads to the shortest access route to the village, has not been reconstructed. There are 2 schools here. One is the Ratanapala Vidyalaya and the other is the Parakrama Vidyalaya, for which we aided in the construction and for which we provided the land. Children from the Etchait colony have to cross this waterway to get to school. These roads are all dilapidated. The culverts are broken. They have never been reconstructed. The MPs only come here and look at these. They never rebuild it.
Now, an alarming mass death of fish has been reported from a waterway which flows across a reserve land in close proximity to Colombo. Area residents say the fish began dying yesterday, and this has caused a foul stench to hang over the area, which could lead to health complications.
The mass death of fish is taking place in a waterway which flows into the Bolgoda Lake via the Bellamvilla Attidia Reserve land. The mass death of fish, which commenced yesterday, prevailed this morning as well. No institution has properly investigated this to determine if the fish are dying because of a decrease in the level of oxygen in the water or because of a chemical agent. The health of people and other animals which consume these fish could be at risk. When the News First crew visited the area this morning, we could see fishermen catching fish from the waterway. However, our reporter says that the police had advised fishermen not to fish in the waterway until a proper investigation has been conducted. The fishermen told us that the mass death of fish is occurring due to natural causes. The fish are dying because of a surge in their population. If it was poison, then all the fish would have died. There are millions of fish here. However, area residents told us of another factor that could have caused the mass death of fish. There are 2 or 3 garment factories here. Chemicals used for denim manufactured there are diverted into this waterway. Environmentalists say there is an urgent need for investigations into the mass death of fish in this waterway, which flows across one of the most biodiverse reserves in close proximity to the capital city. They say that as monitors in the waterway are also dying, it is clear that the problem cannot be discounted. When we made inquiries from NARA, or the National Aquatic Resource Research and Development Agency, regarding the matter, the agency's chairman said a team had been deployed to the area to conduct investigations. The chairman added that the reason for the mass death of fish can be uncovered once the team completes the investigation.
Speaking at an event held today, Minister of Education Bandula Gunawardena commented on the death sentence that was handed down to Rizana Nafiq.
A no-confidence motion is being put forward in protest of the beheading of this girl, saying that there is no confidence in the minister who sent her abroad for employment. Our expertise and broad dialogue have fallen to a state where certain groups can say that there is no confidence in a minister who went to great lengths to save her when another state had sentenced her to death under its laws.